Okay, this is the recording of the updated version of the Chapter 6 assignment for the Bardic Course. I don't know how I'm going to get this thing uploaded because the laptop has died. The power cord worked, I had power, but then like 24 hours later there was no, the screen doesn't come up. So, yay, there's power, but I can't see anything. And I tried hooking it up through HDMI cable to my my TV here. No joy there either. So I can't take videos into the house to upload, and I have been trying to upload a video. What am I at? About 5 hours now, and I'm at 4%. Right? 4% in 5 hours. So, but I'm going to record it and then see what I can do. My friend said that he would see if he can help me get them all uploaded. We'll see what happens. And yes, the photo bomb by the beautiful Miss Holly. She just finished eating another helping of chicken. Okay, so let me reread the prompt, and then I'll read what he added on. Okay, so basically this is a compilation between chapters. Yes, it's supposed to be chapter 6, but they say in chapter 4 we considered that the deities, the Earth Mother, and the Dual of nature could all have been the shapers, the shaping, and the shapes. Again, overcomplication. Okay. Integrate the material from chapters 3, 4, and 5, and include chapter 6, even though it doesn't say so in the prompt, but clearly it's a chapter 6 assignment. How does an awareness of the shapes or shapers, the shaping, and the shapes provide a context for the embodied spirituality in your life? I actually went back and checked out chapter 6, and I don't know where embodied is even written in there. So I think they're using that term as an extrapolation of the context of the chapter. Anyway, the response back was, for chapter 3, what did you learn about choice and balance? And the funny thing about that chapter was I answered the choice and balance portion of that in my essay, but they wanted me to put other things other than choice and balance in that essay. Okay, it says, now connect that to chapter 4. What did you learn about the shaper, the shapes, and the shaping? Now connect this to chapter 5. What did you learn about the Earth Mother? Now connect this to chapter 6. Define what is meant by the term embodied to show your understanding of the term. Then, 1. Show how the previous concepts are expressed in your spiritual idea of Druidry. 2. How is this lived out in your personal practice? Give examples. And then he puts in parentheses, this is where your submitted assignment can be used. So basically, the 3 pages I already wrote answer that specific little tiny prompt right there out of all the... Right. And 3, how does this have an effect on your sense of responsibility as a druid? Right. So my response is this. And hopefully I edited it correctly because I did turn this in already. In the clarification I got for this prompt, I decided to rewrite this assignment. While chapter 3 was about far more than choice and balance, I think every chapter is about balance because it's the very foundation of Druidry, I'll address the specific prompt. When I wrote on this chapter, I was asked specifically about the 2 half-bloods and how their blood dictated who they were. I stated then that that was not the case. They each chose who they were and what path they wanted to live. One clung to his father when strife hit him. When his father did not provide much aid, the other son, or while his father did not provide much aid, the other son did not turn to a parent at all, but went to the place where he knew he could gather the brightest minds to find the correct solution to the problem. One son I wrote one son shoes deceit instead of chose deceit. Ah, how wonderful. I'll highlight that to go back and fix it. One son chose deceit while he gathered an army because he pretended to capitulate. The other simply wanted to regain balance for the land. There was no judgment of right or wrong in this story, because it comes from a time of understanding these things are part of the same coin. Always it is about balance. If you choose to force the power to go one way or another, instead of in the middle, you end up an army slaughtered on the battlefield. While I think the prompters wanted me to go forward, I already talked about shapes, and shaping in my first attempt at this assignment. And I think I left that portion in. We'll see. So I want to take this concept back to chapter 3. While both sons were using this concept, one was using it with force and the other was to restore balance. Always the shapes were being reshaped by the shaper on both sides, but Lug invited the forces of nature into each step of the shaping, which ensured a restoration of balance. You cannot have balance without nature or Earth Mother. I cannot really say I learned about Earth Mother from the chapter itself. It just confirmed what I already had learned and made me feel less crazy because I was not the only person who knew it. Most of us know she's there and hear her call. Basically in the on the forums of everybody who's learning, and endeavoring on the Druidic path was who I was including in the us. And people not in the us path as well in terms of the spiritual community at large. She is calling us because she needs us. And we will do as she asks of us as soon as each of us are ready in our own time. For chapter 6, I don't even recall the word embodied being in there, but there are a few definitions. My way of using it simply means life in this plane of existence. A soul being in a body means that body is alive. The soul is the soul is embodied to animate this biomechanical suit that every being wears. It also means the demonstration of an attribute. I'm currently using it to refer to a kitten I rescued. While she is still very playful and her claws hurt, she is the embodiment of love and gratitude. She is grateful for every meal provided for her and any attention she's given and anything that comes her way. She is 100% gratitude. She never wakes me for meals the way some of the other cats do sometimes. If I feel down, she makes sure I know I'm loved, as I did for her when her mother abandoned her. She also has very interesting interactions with my other cats. My eldest cat will go out of his way to make sure she has what she needs, as long as he still gets his naps. There are many other ways the word applies to Druidism as well, and I'm tempted to go into examples from the Secret Garden, as it is the most recent read Yeah, I worded this sentence incorrectly. It is the most recent book in my head due to reading it to my children, but I think it's easiest to summarize it in this way. Embodiment is the complete exhibition of the traits you wish to show. And there's another one. Sorry, I'm going to highlight the things that need to be changed in here. I had to unplug the keyboard to plug in the camera because the battery was dead. Like a druid isn't truly a druid if they don't act as a druid is expected to act. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to, well, yeah, because I think I wrote stuff after it. So I'll just read the whole thing. I don't feel I fully embody the spiritual concept of being a druid yet because I don't embody balance yet. I'm striving for it, but it's a hard one. If I can find it where I am, however, I can find it anywhere. And perhaps that's the point of being where I am. I have found it within me to see beyond judgment most of the time, which I thought was an impossibility 3 years ago. This is just more of the shaper, the shape, and the shaping constantly at work. Or simply put, transformation. That's like 7 words when it's summed up with 1. I mean, the complications. Okay, let me just scroll down here. Okay, yeah, I did add a paragraph at the end here. So I will read the other part that I left in from the previous, which I think is most of it. Prior to reading this book, I had not seen reference to 9 elements in any other text that remains to this day. I'm also buying a bunch of other Druid books from other orders and whatnot, and time is is rare at the moment, but I'm trying to find some time to start reading. 9 elements are what I work with, so I found this rather interesting. What I have learned over the years is that magic works because we believe it works. That is why there are so many conflicting methods. It is not, this is the only way, but this is my way. While we live in this dualistic realm, we tend to think everything is black and white, whether right or wrong, or either right or wrong. This way of thinking must change if humanity is to have a future. I'm in the very beginning phase of transitioning from chaos to order. I have quite the relationship with a shaper right now. I want to roll my eyes every time. Okay. I think I'll begin writing on this prompt with a meditation, an initiation with the dragons I participated in over 2 weeks ago. Bear with me, it's relevant. The initiation starts with 1 dragon, then moves on to water. It's missing the 2. The water dragon gives a gift, which I have no idea what I was handed. The fire dragon, on the other hand, placed a salamander in my hands. He then asked me if I wanted to go for a ride. I looked to my own dragon before agreeing. It felt a bit like cheating on my dragon to be riding another. It was a far different experience than what I was used to. After the ceremony, I asked my teacher why I was given a salamander. She said the salamander in this moment was because I lacked courage. That explains this next gift. In the west was the earth dragon. She put a pile of dirt in my hands, and as I stood there, a plant began growing out of the pile of dirt, and I hastily dropped to my knees and dug a hole as a tree grew bigger in my hand. By the time I stood back, I had a very large elm tree in my sacred circle. Yes, my sacred circle is an astral. I looked it up, and several websites all said, among other things, the tree represents courage. So 1 dragon said I needed it. The next gave it to me. The air dragon gave me a box with a shiny thing inside. When I asked, it said it was the brightness of my future. The ether dragon showed me the house I'd like to have. The rest of this initiation is not relevant to this assignment. In order for things to manifest here in the physical plane, they must first manifest in the astral. The shaping of my future happened in this event over that weekend. It will continue to be shaped until it is able to manifest. In this initiation, the dragons acted as a messenger from Earth Mother, that the change I need is coming. I was shown the shapes of what need to happen to get this bright future, and I know the shaping has already started. I just need to grasp the courage to take what is mine and step into the unknown. I also know the house I'll be going to is not the last move. This process will repeat because the next step is just a stopgap until I have grown into the person I'm meant to be. The shaper, the shape, and the shaping are a constantly renewing process. We are all being reshaped in each new moment. Getting the future you always desired is just a speck in all the transformation that transpires in life of a person. If you play an active role in your life, you experience constant transformation. That is the concept of the shaper, the shapes, and the shaping. I still think the book overcomplicates this. I understand we like trinities, but this is going to be broken down. But if this is going to be broken down in the actual process, I feel unshaping needs to be added. Even though the book includes unshaping in the shaping, they are not the same by definition. They are opposites. One is creating something. The other is changing the creation. One can argue the shape is in constant transformation and therefore being changed. But if the bowl is transformed into a bird, is it still the same shape? Or is that big of a change considered an unshaping and then a new shaping? I contend the bowl is no longer a bowl. It is a new shape, even though the same energy that created it was used to create the bird. Regardless if it's a trinity or a quartet, the idea embodies the transformative idea that to embody spirituality is to be constantly reshaped, but you will still be human. The deeper into your spiritual embodiment, the more you will change how you interact with the world. This transformation pushes you to change everything about yourself that doesn't resonate with the future you are building for yourself. If you have been judgmental in the past, this transformation will take that from you, just as the characters in the story lacked that trait. I am convinced, based on the transformation I'm going through and what I'm seeing going on in the world around me, while chaos and order and light versus dark will always exist as long as we are in this dualistic realm, transformation is working its hand there as well. The way these battles took place have also been constantly changing. I feel Earth Mother is tired of getting the short end of the stick there, and is at the forefront of that shaping. I think she is shaping us as the tips of the spear to show the others the right way to wage war. This battle the way is to wage this battle, not this war, as she currently sees them. The ways that won't cause her any damage and truly bring about the transformation she's looking for. The ways that will restore the balance she is sorely missing. How does all this affect my sense of responsibility as a druid? I've been developing that sense of responsibility since I found out this was my path 3 years ago. I thought I was just a bard for many decades and was happy with that. Then I found out I was destined for much more, and crazy things have been happening ever since. The excess baggage that clung to me like a wet hair that you can't get off, holding me down, has all slipped away, and now I can focus on what lies ahead and what I must learn to get there. Getting out of my own way is probably my biggest responsibility right now. We cannot hold the mantle that is meant for us if we are in our own way. We cannot hold the position in society a druid is meant to hold if we lack the confidence in ourselves. I'm not sure her. I'm not sure all this does affect my sense of responsibility at the moment. Earth Mother still has her chisel and hammer in her hand, and I keep squirming like an undisciplined child because it's uncomfortable. I know when she's done, I will be ready. And that's that. I looked at the prompt for chapter 7, and that was going to be interesting. Next one's going to be me trying to figure out what another myth is. Yeah, I got to look up now instead of down it. So, yeah. All right, I'll see what I need to do to get this uploaded. Yeah, just craziness. But thank you so much for watching. Time is valuable, and I appreciate you giving me your time. Thank you.